As Indigenous people of Mbondeland, we are dependent, like many other Indigenous people in the world. We are dependent on the land. The land, we are born of the land. Our food comes from the land. And when we die, we return to the land.
We are Ololema, Kenya, Southern Kenya. And this is our wake-up call to the world.
We are calling upon you to take action.
Our worldwide leaders, please feel our pain and take action.
When there are droughts, it is us and our crops that suffer. When there are floods, it is our shelters, our crops that get washed away. And we deserve to be heard.
Shida ambayo sisi tumepata tangu hii maji kupanda ni kwamba sisi hatuna maji masafi ya kunywa. Juu imechukua pipe zote yenye inaleta maji hapa. Sasa sisi kutokana na hiyo maji chafu ile tunakunywa ambayo sio mzuri kwa afya yetu, sisi tunapatwa na magonjwa kama vile cholera, dysentery na pia typhoid.
Dola daraha mulalari naling. Na hanading ngaro siwa nading asapo.
Erjanga sengir na wahani barajing. Erjanga na magara sokot. Paga ya gele Allah sengir. Yara sagrim irmoro janga. Ay amara ngasarabi.
Niga ngasiamu itu kara doli yoro ko laga ari nagara lari laburana na ko sarne bona na ngawli. Niga dola do na ko gidero kama sara ramru kara do. Na ga saga ko nagisyange ngaya mu do na na iru na ngawli. Amri na ngamna de nan lasma be ngamsi yogur masa amna dag na se ko amu gile bingi ni ko golle ne ru nyage ni ga nyangiri kishu ko gina ganga yana ha mu gegira ga ishinarina
ore no tete ni kidungoki ngishu mbene kamu keponu la meiti nogol na gejoki yo kulo papa kulo noru ta karmasi yani tudunga korngwasila ningwale dorikita amu keyolo nchalchani orngwasi lorikito irora alchani neaku tudungoki mbene tenderaki na lameyo ewo tudungoki elde leka ngwasila nidunga elde kake meoru ake ledo meoru ake lekisulu iroruo to lekisulu neaku kitodolu ajijo neaku enkitoria na idipa ashomo enkitoria meta amu mikiyi ningwa yiok enati malo nkoitoi e serikali peton tenkutuk orkuak amu ore peetii.
Those global leaders who are sitting on the climate change negotiations in COP26, we understand the land and we are on the front line of the climate change impact.
Let's say wenzetu wale ambaye sisi wote tumepata hii pigo la climate change, tujaribu wote tukuje ili tupate suluhisho. Jambo hili limetusumbua.
Climate knows no boundaries. We must be listened to, otherwise we will suffer the most as Indigenous people.
Listening to the land. The land is crying. It's spitting blood in the form of water. Fires burning. Is there anyone listening to the cry of this land? Mother Nature is slowly dying. Is there anyone to rescue Mother Nature? Aren't you ashamed of yourself about this? Are you the one responsible for this crisis?
Joining us now is Helena Walinga, all the way from Quichua, the people of Sarayaku in Ecuador. She's an advocate for indigenous people's rights and the protection of the Amazon. Helena, you come from an area that's been incredibly badly damaged by flooding, submerged altogether. Can you describe to us how life is being impacted by this?
Well, basically what is causing these floods to happen is climate change. Last year we faced floods of unprecedented magnitudes. It basically meant that our entire community was flooded. Houses were swept away and the entire community basically was underwater. And I think that says a lot about the situation right now. But also we have to talk about what is causing this and what other problems we have in the Amazon.
You've come specially all the way to Glasgow. What's the message you want the world to hear?
I mean, in the Amazon, Indigenous people have been fighting for decades and decades. And I mean, I come from a people that have been doing so. Our main struggle has been to protect our territories from extractivism, oil companies, mining companies coming in. And I think that is what we need to talk about here in Glasgow, at COP, in the negotiating spaces where we actually are not allowed in. And it's quite ironic, actually, that we're talking about how our future is being negotiated. But it's not only our future, it's actually what is happening right now back in the Amazon, because what is causing climate change is eventually the fossil fuel industry, and the fossil fuel industry is very present in our territories.
Well, when I was a child, a long, long time ago, we regarded the Amazon as a lung for the whole of South America, really, effectively. But it's very far from that now, isn't it? It's in a very bad way.
I mean, I guess it's a lung for the entire world, and it is of great importance to the entire world. And I think Indigenous people have had the role to protect the Amazon, but not just the Amazon, entire ecosystems in the entire world. And we need to be present in the conversations going on here in Glasgow, because the work that we do is what is, protecting all these ecosystems, all these spaces.
What do you hope they will do as a result of hearing you?
Well, I mean, the president of my country was just here giving a very beautiful speech about how they're creating this marine reserve, which is extremely, extremely important. They're talking about the Galapagos Islands. But he fails to mention the Amazon. And, oil exploitation is expected to double under his period. And that is extremely, extremely concerning, how he can come here and talk about how he can come and talk about the environment and what Ecuador is doing to protect the environment, when the work that is being done in Ecuador is being done by Indigenous people. And while he's saying that that we need to, fight climate change, he's contributing to that issue with exploiting the Amazon. So I think for specifically countries like Ecuador with Amazonian rainforest, it's their responsibility to, to help us to protect the Amazon. But, we have other countries that do not have Amazon and that do not have economies that are based on oil exploitation or mining. It's their responsibility to support countries like mine. Because, I think a lot of what is going on right now is that we're putting the problem on other countries. A country like mine will say, okay, the big countries, and the bigger countries will say countries like Ecuador.
Do you understand when other countries like India, for example, say, we can't deliver as fast as the West is saying in terms of getting down to zero emissions? They say 2050, or 2070, while the world is talking about 2050. Do you understand that? You're sympathetic, or you feel India should be brought into line?
I understand what is going on, and I think that is when we have to talk about the just transition, because it is not possible for every country. We need to accept the circumstances that we are in, but there needs to be a international effort to support countries that are not able to take those steps. And yes, countries like India, they need the support. Countries like Ecuador, they need the support. But it's also up to those countries to take it upon them to take those actions.
Well, Helena Kawalida, I do hope that people have been listening, that people will take note of this huge journey you've made to alert the world to your needs. Let's hope they're really listening and they will act. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Back to you.